Good evening and welcome to another Mahjong broadcast with the American Ricci Mahjong League. We've got some Session 6 games going here in the A2 division. I am joined tonight by Dustin. How are you doing tonight, Dustin?
I'm doing great. The outcome of this match might determine how great, because you can see me right next to Christian there, but we'll see what happens. I do remember, I think before the first two games of the session, Christian and John actually switched positions. So like as long as they both don't rise, I'll be fine.
As long as one of them stays low enough for you to overtake. I mean,
Exactly.
really, they're both within range at the moment. I mean, it'd be a little tough in two games, but this whole bottom from Kevin down is totally fair game in A2 right now.
Yeah. I don't know. Kevin might be a little bit far of a reach for me, unless he just like drops down, which is totally possible. Hasn't played any of the last session games yet. I only have two more to go, but I got
Kevin,
plus 28 in those two. So if I can do that again, I might be okay.
that'd be pretty solid. I mean, Kevin's stat line though is pretty interesting. Only one first, like by far the fewest firsts in A2. Those 9 seconds are really carrying. Oh,
Right.
and here we go. It looks like the gong has sounded. Aaron will be our first dealer. And this, well, I was gonna say this is a decent hand to start with. It is decent. But it's not spectacular. Really needs better
I
shapes.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it decent even.
You wouldn't even call well, but there's a Rion Con, and Rion Cons can always do this and just randomly fill.
Right. It
And
it turned out okay.
it'll we'll see if it works out. We do see Anthony on the left with starting with an Anko of his seat wind is actually two Shanten, does not have enough blocks. Now Ishanten. Well, presumably Ishanten. Will either toss the 2-peen or the Haku. Yep. Wow, these draws! Aaron has had 3
Okay.
consecutive Itsu draws. 5-mon, 3-mon, 2-mon.
Just reading the wall, I guess that is. Yeah, that is Dama
Senpai!
Tenpai. Yeah, Dama Tenpai.
Oh my god. And
E2.
the 7's gonna
I guess
come
yeah,
out!
just take it.
Well, the
Oh,
Haku coming in was horrible for Anthony because now you really want to keep that open up and you have a nice 2-Han open hand, 3-Han with one of the 7 Dora. And the 7-9 was the worst shape in hand. It just dealt right into that Itsu that started with only 5 tiles, but drew 3 consecutively and then got the 4th from Anthony. So,
yeah. Now this one's a pretty good hand. 79 Sanjuku possibility
3
and
Ryonmeng,
Adora.
complete shape. Yeah.
Although if you get the 789 Sanjuku, then you have to throw the Dora. Perhaps. Let's just pair it up.
Not unless you draw the 5-mon like this.
Right? Yeah, maybe it's Itsu again.
Yeah, we could see. It'd be really nice if this hand ends up golden one away. I feel like that'd be a cool teaching moment if we have the chance. Looking around the table, once again, Anthony might have the hand most able to chase as far as speed goes. That is two Shanten once again, but it's a pretty nice two Shanten. Only one unfavorable shape in that hand.
Yeah, so many pins in that hand. I don't know if he'll greed Honitsu, maybe not if the dragon drops. Although Chuna's once cut. The dragon was also once cut.
Christian across the way hedging for Tanyao has 2 of the Dora 6-mon. Would really like to be able to open this hand to speed it along since the shapes aren't doing too hot. And Aaron once again just drawing straight towards Itsu.
Yeah, hello see Shanten, but depending on what you get, you could just see the Dama again.
Well, in this case, with Itsu Dora 1, I mean, that would be 3 Han.
Oh, this
Ooh.
three-sided pairweight.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is that's pretty solid.
yeah, it's what a good amount left. Just two on the board.
Five left in the wall.
Although being near the Dora means that those weights will be less likely to come out. So pretty wide weight though.
Yeah, with this sort of weight, you're really hoping just to sumo it. The one misfortune about the three
相撲
sided pair weight is that it is Ricci only. There's no Pinfu here, so Ricci sumo Dora, no Ura.
Yeah, but as dealer, it's a great amount of points.
Oh, and now we've got the double tone. So Aaron working really hard to make that first hand come together. And by working very hard, I mean not tossing away the one mon before it had its chance. And then it has two pretty fantastic high
Home.
pay.
And that W
Immediately
comes right out. Still needs a pair, but I mean, dealer two on, you definitely take that any day.
And would you also have tossed the 6-8 so?
I think so. Maybe, kind of it's either the 6-8 or the 6-8 pin, but I feel like the 2-4-6-8 is better than because the 3-4 you have that Ryman.
I never know what to do if I throw the 6-8 so and then I draw the 5 peen, now I'm kind of uncertain what my life is. But now we could get a 4-5-6 Sanshoku.
Right. Only 2 5 pins left in the wall though.
And the other two across the table.
リーチ
Oh, that's Ricci. Ricci Dora 2 and just 2 so wait. 2 left in the wall.
That 3 mon is safe, so a pretty fortunate draw on the Apatsu turn. Everybody able to neatly dodge it. The 7mon's a little bit rougher.
Yeah, Aaron still gets to keep his Shanten though.
Here's another
And
2 so.
yeah, one more left. Ooh.
Now I feel like you just push the 2 peen. I guess you already have a lead.
2 pins near the door though, so maybe not.
Oh yeah, you're right.
There's your pair, but
And then 4 peen is Dorasuji.
yeah. It is nothing indicating pins are safe at all. It
Yeah.
looks like they're just folding. It's valid.
Only 2 9 peen and 1 8 peen have been discarded at all, so Pinzu looking pretty expensive, especially as the Dora suit.
Right.
Just gotta keep drawing the save tiles though if we're gonna go this path. Things getting a little bit shakier for John on the right here.
Yeah, it's like these things seem so dangerous, but in reality, the weight is just this once left in the wall too. So, but they have no way of knowing that. There's no Suji trap yet either.
Can a Suji trap occur? No, all the 4 peen are in hand. So, oh no, 4 peen is the
Gee.
Suji to the Dora. I don't know why I was thinking that. The 5 so is what we need to look for. 1, 2, 3. There's still 1 5 so left. So if it
Right.
does come out of Christian's hand, that could lead someone astray.
Yeah, it just seems like everyone's folding though. Someone's just gonna throw a middle tile like that randomly. And at this point, there's plenty of Genbutsu, so that you won't necessarily have to trust Suji.
Well, but Anthony's having to do so right now. Ran out of save tiles.
Right. So that if they trust the long Suji, that would be pretty unfortunate. Oh, Aaron's back into Ishanten. Could still get Tenpai out of this.
Could have. Well, I guess pawning the 7 peen would not have been especially helpful. 6 so save.
Oh, the Chi does. Yeah, it
Forcing.
avoids the last draw for the Ricci.
That's a fun thing to do. And with
Right.
that, Christian's going to pick up 3,000 points, and the Honda will continue counting up. So up to 3 now.
Yeah, 1900 points on the board.
A, a pretty good shot at a fourth Honda, I'd say. This is a pretty darn beautiful hand. Pair tune, nice so shape, nice mon shape, nice pin
Yeah.
shape. I mean, that's
This
all.
the
That's all
only
the
problem is the Mochi Mochi on the tune.
That is unfortunate. If you went Atazuke here, you could end up getting punished.
Yeah, but this hand is already Shanten, so hopefully that won't. Oh yeah, that's Senpai. Just 7-pin, but
Yeah,
does not take it yet.
is keeping a wider Ishanten.
Boom.
I mean, this could be Sanshoku.
Right.
All right, let's see what Aaron's doing on the left. Aaron chose to call the Wests, discarded the 7-9 pin. Currently it is going for Chanta, it seems. But I mean, with a couple of draws, this could also become Honroto.
Yeah, definitely. At least Honitsu. I don't know. I guess if you do draw the 9-mon, you could take the. It'd just be one Han if it's unless it's one on the tune though. Well, this could just be Toy Toy shift now. Drop the 7-mon
Well, why not drop the 5-so?
for the Honitsu, I suppose.
Boom.
I
Oh,
feel
there's
like
the pawn. There's
that. Yep,
yeah,
there it is. And now a 1-so tune's a pretty good weight. Although, again, as you said, the tune's Mochi Mochi, and one of the 1-so is pretty locked up in Anthony's hand across the table.
right. So that just leaves the one so left in the wall. But yeah, if someone else draws it, it does not really fit in their hand though. Or might now in Christian's hand.
According to how Christian builds it, John took this incredibly wide Ishanten and just has not been able to draw anything into it.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. It also had the possibility to draw the Dora. Ooh,
Boom.
the Dama Pinfudora 2. Fair enough.
Anthony a little bit concerned about Aaron's hand, perhaps, not wanting to call Ricci. I actually missed that Anthony had gotten to Tenpai.
Yeah, it was just into Tenpai. If they called Ricci and that was discarded, that would have been Ipatsu, but maybe he wouldn't have thrown that tile.
Yeah, I mean, it was Toy Toy only,
Yeah.
right?
Toy Toy tune possibility. And the 5 in the Ricci, such a dangerous tile.
Oh yeah. Another good hand for our dealer here. I was wondering if John on the left might like go for Kogashi, even though they'd only started with 7 distinct terminals and honors. And when they drew their 8th, they discarded the Haku. So I guess not.
Yeah. This hand's looking great though. 5 and 7 Tajiku possibilities. Lots of Ryanman. And the Dora.
Right. 5, 6, 7, 3, 4, 5. And as Nathaniel has pointed out behind the scenes, which I am gonna put in front of the scenes, Anthony has a pretty good separation from himself to losing the promotion spot. Right now, the cut is at 9.1 because Lucas has 9 and Lucas is the first person out currently, and Anthony at 134.2 doesn't really need to force anything. Can just like be Dama, take whatever he gets and push the game along, play pretty safe and not have to do much.
Right.
Does have a very good his headless Ishanten right now on the right.
And a pretty good potential 3-sided weight for the dealer, but the players on both of his sides are just holding on to those Sozu tiles. It'll be a little harder to get that.
Now we're going to have the Nobuton weight for Anthony, waiting on 6-so, 9-so. One of those will be the pair, so this is going to be Richidor 1 for Anthony. Was not able to just hold out and Dama as we were talking about before because, well, there's no Yaku.
Right. Yeah, there's only just the 1/6 left in the wall for that.
Now all the 9-so as we see are in John's hand on the left. How many 1-so are out? Here's a
Oh,
question.
just get the last 6.
And I was just about to start counting what the chance of Turin was for John on the left. Like, John was like 2 shots in for Turin.
Yeah. Like a hand like that can just happen. You're just like defending and just suddenly get more and more so tiles.
Well, I don't think any of the 1-so were out, so only needed one more to get the hardest part of it. But anyway, that's going to be a nice little sumo for Anthony. That is going to put him in second and above 30K. And in East 4, again, a pretty good dealer hand. I mean, not fantastic, but you do have a couple of good shapes here. And if you are able to draw around the 5-so, could even think about 5, 6, 7 Sanshoku.
I see more of like 5, 6, 7 or 3, 4, 5, possibly.
Just according to which direction you shift out.
Right.
From either you shift the Pinzu left or you shift the Sozu right. We do have a call now from John taking the Wests.
Yeah, probably won't have much value unless pushing So Hanitsu otherwise.
Chi.
And then we have a Chi from Aaron on the right. And this is going to be a Sanshoku Chanta. At least as it's building right now. It is Ishanten for that. And now Christian had a very good hand. Calls Ricci, waiting on 1-so, 4-so. For Ricci, Penfu, possibly Peiko.
Right. Let's see, 3 of those are left in the wall. Just the 1-1-so and 2 4-so.
And Anthony just playing safe here.
Yeah, playing those Genbutsu, just folding out. Especially when you draw the Dora, you can't really use on the Ipatsu turn. Pretty hard to really do anything about that.
Aaron's only had to push the 8-peen so far. But has maintained this Ishanten. The 7-peens are kind of dwindling away.
Yeah, but there is one in the dealer's hand, and it's just confirmed as Genbutsu. Ooh.
Chi.
So we could see the Chi here.
Dorotanki. Yep. Yeah, Sanshoku Dorotanki.
I mean, there's still 2 of those left in the wall.
Yeah, and it is Suji, but at this
Sumo.
point, you just get the last one. So Ricci, Sumo, Peiko, Pinfu. No Ura, but pretty good hand to get. Brings him just barely into first.
Yeah, got a very healthy dose of Takame there. The Takame being the more expensive side of a multi-sided weight. The dealer here having a lot of kind of awkward shapes. A Ryoncon and Mon, a Pinchan and Peen. But with that 7-so draw, has things to work with. Could get 7, 8, 9 Sanshoku. There's definitely places to go. Has a Dora in hand. So this is by no means a bad hand for Aaron.
Yeah, possibly Junshan even.
Anthony on the left. It seems like the player to the left has had wacky hands this whole match so far. A pair of Easts and a pair of 9 Mons still in hand. Is holding on to other honors just to see what might happen. Could end up getting Honitsu and the Mon. Could end up... I mean, could still end up Chanta or something of the sort.
Right, maybe just looking to get the hand as fast as possible.
Yeah,
Fortunately, threw 2 Dora out. They had the Yakuhai.
Yeah, I mean, there is sort of a benefit to tossing it out early. I mean,
right.
If someone can't pawn it, then you're just making it clear to everyone that hands are cheap. And that'll make people a little bit more willing to push, which means you're going to be a little bit less likely to deal in. We do have Ishanten for Aaron now for this 789 Sanshoku.
Boom.
And Tempai on the left for Anthony, waiting on 5-so, 8-so. There are 3 5-so and 8-so left in the wall. As for the 8 Mon, there are 2 left in the wall. And Aaron is going to need one of those. Ooh, could have. How many Easts are discarded?
There
Hmm.
are none.
With no East discarded, honestly, I would have switched weights there. I really
Right.
like the off-wind weight. I guess the only issue is it looks like you have a
Yeah.
Honitsu. You haven't
Yeah,
discarded
that's
any
the
Mon
issue.
yet.
But the 2/3 discard, maybe just trying to avoid. Yeah, I guess you didn't want to throw the 4-mon into what could be Hanitsu.
Oh, and there's a pair. So you could actually pawn the 1 Mon or the 4 Mon if they come out of someone else's hand.
Right.
This table's playing very, very defensive so far. Being very careful in how they play around each other. People with a lot to lose here. Aaron doesn't want to fall out of promotion. John wants to stay out of demotion. And Christian is trying to climb his way out.
Ooh, that
There's
8-mon
a
comes
gold.
right, so it comes right out though. But would have thought it was Hanitsu. Just Hakunomi though. Not a terrible deal.
It does switch their positions. Anthony now second and Aaron now third, although that's practically meaningless.
Yeah,
For these
just
two.
get a Mongon Sumo we can just run away with first. Not a lot of time left to get points.
As dealer here, John with the Chun. The Dora is the 9-peen, which has just been drawn into hand. 6, 7, 8. Sanshoku is a possibility. Would need to draw next to that 6-so. But definitely
not
needs
too
to
far
improve
away.
some of these. There's another 8-peen, which is, God, that's an awkward draw. The 6, 8, 8, 9 is just not a shape I ever want to have to deal with, especially when the 9-peen's Dora and I can't get rid of it.
Yeah. It's like
Boom.
it's not great. It's not the worst thing in the world. Keeps that shape around for now though.
An interesting Sozu shape. Sozu? I just got so caught on my own tongue. An interesting bamboo shape for Christian on the right with the 2 1s, an Unko of 2-so, and then the 3 4-so. With this hand as it currently is, what would you most like to draw in the Sozu if you're Christian?
Maybe just a 3-so just
See.
confirm Ipeko. That go for the Tanyo, so throwing the 1-sos away.
That will speed things along. Christian currently has a narrow hold on first, and Christian is the person who wants first the most, I would say.
Right. And he doesn't want his direct competitor John to have a dealer turn. So they're like fighting out of that demotion zone. So I could definitely see just calling to end their dealership.
Once it becomes clear that John is also trying to make a fast hand with that Chun pawn.
Right.
Not getting any improvements, though.
I think the 6-mon helps, like getting it to Tempai.
Ick.
Could have went for the Honitsu, but playing around the Dora still.
Yeah, with that 4, 5, 6 pawn from Christian, I mean, with the
See.
1-peen and 2-peen discard the way they were, you don't suspect an Itsu like a pure straight on the right. But it's not out of the question. This is Tempai for Christian now, waiting on 3 Mon.
2 left in the wall. It's a 1, 2, 3 call from Aaron. I guess that must be for K10 at this point.
It's a pretty early K10 call.
Yeah.
But it is also the case that not being Tempai could be pretty bad for Aaron's placement in this game, although not necessarily catastrophic overall. The 9-peen's safe now, if you wanted to get rid of it.
Yeah, only 1 left if you wanted a Tonki on it anyway. And this is Tenpai for the dealer on 7 Mon. Just one left in the wall.
Yeah, just that really unfortunate pinch on weight. It's like hidden inside of everything else.
Could be a pawn for the two-sided pair weight 6-9, but does not take that.
I would have liked that call.
Yeah,
Improve it just a little bit. I mean, well, you could take 6-9, you could take 5-8. You'd have options there.
true. It's just that was my instinct. The first one, just go with the 6-9.
With as many, let's
Although,
see,
yeah,
with nines already gone, you don't see as many 5-8s. Oop, there's the 3-mon. Aaron's thinking about it.
oh, there's it again. My dealing right here. Or does he have a safe tile? 8
Oh,
pins relatively
John's
safe,
Don't.
but deals into their direct competitor.
yeah, the Willies took over John for a second there. Like, could feel it. Could just like, oh, this tile feels so bad, but I mean, it really didn't fit into the hand. So feeds Christian 1,000 points, and an unfortunate loss of the dealer turn for John. But fortunately, the scores are so close right here that a Mangon Sumo would still put John in first.
Yeah, the scores are so tight.
3 people over 30K for right now. Don't imagine that'll hold for long. Christian has one of the Dora 8-peen, and the shapes are improving quickly.
Yeah, John has a pair of the Dora, so he could definitely get that manga on Sumo if he keeps the hand closed at least, or the Dora gets pawned.
What do you
Is it?
think Christian's going to go for across the table? It's kind of an awkward hand.
I mean, Aaron. I guess he does like Sanchoku, and it kind of
Oh, that's
is
Aaron.
what.
You're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it kind of is what his hand has to be. Like Sanchoku or Chanta, or both even. Yeah, might even try to like. Is this cards look very drawing or throwing a lot of middle tiles, throwing some honors too. So at least they know it's not going to be like 13 orphans.
Anthony tossed the 4-mon shape from the 4-6-mon shape. Is favoring the Pinchon and the So for the chance at an Itsu at a pure straight. Just needs a 3 and a 4. Could even call for it.
Great draw for John. I believe that's Ishanten for possibly Ricci Pinfudora 2. And Tanya even draws
According to
like
how
a
you get there.
6. Yeah. Ideally with 6-mon. Oh, the door comes out for the
Gee.
dealer.
Oh.
It is Ishanten, but
Oh man, I would have pawned that. I know, like, oh, but this is a better way.
Yeet.
This is instead of the 7-mon Tonki, John is patient, waits a turn, and now has Ricci, Pinfu, Dora 2, waiting on 3-mon, 6-mon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's only one of those left in the wall.
yeah, it's a bit unfortunate. At least the weight is not near the Dora, so it's more likely to come out than not.
Would you
But
have taken the Dora pawn?
yeah, I mean, why not make people scared? But then if they're scared, they won't necessarily deal in. So that'd be a reason why not to. But
I mean,
he was
if
Ishanten, so
that would be Tempai. You'd be waiting Tonki on the 7-mon. It'd be interesting because if everyone folds because you have all the Dora, that gives you more time to draw your own tile. Also, gaining 4,000 points on every other player would make your position in South 4 really good. Like, obviously, you're still in last and you don't like that, and you're the only person below
right.
30K and you don't like that. But then you don't even need a Mongon Sumo to take first and put everybody else below 30K.
I guess well, you get 4,000 for everyone. That'd have to be a Hanuman, though, which is They need aura for that, like aura and or sumo.
And nobody dealing into this Ricci from last place here. For what it's worth, both Eric and Nathaniel in different chats have said that they would have done the pawn with the thought that they would change the tanki. But as it happens, John paid 1,000 points to get everybody to fold, and so is now in the position. Let's see, is only even a Mongon Ron would be enough off of any player would be enough for John to take first. Less than that on a sumo, especially considering there's 1,300 points in the middle.
Right.
Has the West in hand, but doesn't have any other value currently. It's also Mochi Mochi with Christian on the left. And a beautiful hand for Anthony. It's going to be hard to beat Anthony in speed here. Anthony has a pretty nice 2 away. Although that 6-6-8-8 peen is a little awkward. I mean, now you can play for Chi Toy or a normal hand. Kind of hedge your bets if you're Anthony.
Yeah, maybe even Toy Toy or... Yeah, with a 100 point difference between second and third, it's kind of awkward to, like, just give up your dealership
Well,
and still, like, maintain your position.
Honestly, I feel like it's dangerous to only think about third here. I mean, you're 300 points from falling below
Right.
30K, and it would not take much at all for you to fall into last place.
Yeah,
it would not take much at all for you to fall into last place and be the only person below 30K.
Like giving up your dealership, not only it would get you below 30,000, so there's that loss of UMA there, and if you lose placement on top of that, that could be 11,000 or 11 points on the board. But now they're Tenpai for Tanyo only. But
Yeah,
there's the additional 1,300 on the board, so to give you a little bit of wiggle room.
Taking advantage of the quick open hands that he was dealt. Christian kind of having to go for a Chanta-ish hand, although it looks like, oh, it can't be a K10 shift. I mean, we just started the second row. I guess we're a little bit further than the second row because Christian's tiles have been called.
It could just be this. No, it can't be the Sanshoku.
The one so was tossed.
Right. I was thinking 789, but he doesn't have the pin shape. And the 8 pawn, that's pretty much dead.
There's one 7 mon and 1 6 peen left.
That 7 mon drawn could fit in this hand. Yeah. Oh, it just comes out. I would like to keep the 6-7. You just keep your West as your pair, but maybe value that Yakuhai.
Right. Well, I mean, the value of the Yakuhai, you could also be thinking about even Sananko. If you just needed to get a couple extra Han to try and up the value of your hand.
Right.
But as it is, tosses the 7 mon into Anthony, who is now 100 points out of first. The 3-so is Dora, and Anthony doth have 2 of those.
Yeah, the shapes are a little awkward to play around, but having 2 Dora is always a good feeling.
I'm pretty sure Flowbook 1 would say that you should pawn the 9 mon or the 9 peen if you're Christian on the left.
Flowbook 1, well...
Just assume that you're going to draw the other 9-so for the Sanshoku Doku.
Yeah, we did see one of those recently, but... He has stuff to play for. I don't think it should be following Flowbook 1 at this point.
What are you saying? Is there something? Do you have some beef with Flowbook 1?
Well, apparently it's like it's not recommended. I read it on the way to New York, and I did not do well in that tournament. That's all I'm saying.
It's a curse. It's a cursed book. Aaron with a really good hand on the right. Ishanten, a very nice Ishanten, could even get Sananko here. Although Sananko would not be a Tenpai draw, that would lead to a headless Ishanten.
dealer Ishanten, but
Each.
the weight is not going to be. It's going to be pretty bad.
Christian there first, waiting on 6-peen, 9-peen. The worst kind of Champon, a Champon that Suji works
Chi.
against.
That the Cheetah Breaky Patsu kind of like destroys. Yeah, because of swap calling, couldn't throw the 9 mon back, but just draws your 5 mon back anyway. But I'll just throw it back, even though it's a safe tile. I guess 9 would be safer to throw later.
Kang.
I guess if you do try to just give up the dealership here, you'll lose first, but shouldn't fall to third. At least you
I
won't fall below 30k.
I looked away to read the chat because I saw that there were a lot of messages, and I totally missed that con. And I'm very sad about it, I gotta say.
Yeah.
I actually really like the call to break a Patsu there from Anthony. I mean, a Mongon sumo brings you below 30k. So doing everything you can to prevent it from being a Mongon
Oh, I don't.
when you don't expect to win the race. I mean, this is not a fast. Like, this hand was never going to be fast.
Yeah, I'm not sure where that con happened, but that pay new Dora Anko thrown from John is a little unfortunate. That would have been the value to getting first. And they had so many pairs too. That could have been like a Cheetoy. Cheetoy Dora 2. But I guess John is technically out of demotion range, so it doesn't need to be that greedy necessarily.
There's only one 6-peen left in the wall for Christian. I mean, if everybody folds here, or I mean, if things as they are now, Christian will just be in first because of Tempai payments. Anthony actually getting Ishan 10.
Yeah, but no more draws left.
Yep, and that's it. So a very, very tight game. Aaron falling below 30k because of the Tempai payments, but only barely. Christian getting a plus 21.1. That is absolutely huge for him, especially since
Right.
John took a minus 22.2. That's going to take Christian out of demotion range and into 11th place.
Yeah, Christian and John swapping spots again, like I mentioned before. I guess that is the downside of not pushing that potential Door 3 or Cheetoy Door 2 hand. Get that 4th place Uma. Now it's gonna be back in
And
demotion range.
a minus 5.9 is fine for Aaron. Is himself pretty far above the demotion line. You know, obviously would like to be higher, have a little bit more safety in case something wild happens in the other Hanchan
Yeah.
that you have no control over that are being played by other players, but a minus 5.9 is a perfectly acceptable result.
Yeah, like compared to the other divisions, that's plenty of room. Some of them are like just plus 20 or 30 is the cut line for promotion.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not feeling super good about my spot, and there's like 2 or 3 people below me who are also promoting, but I feel like we could all get pushed out the way B1 has been. But here we do see that seven people are promoting from A2 into A1, both because of hiatuses and also increased A1 size, making sure everything works out. I really like the average wins here. Like the top of this division is all people just winning massive hands.
Right. And not some have good relatively low dealing percentages, some do not. But you just win big hands. It doesn't matter if you deal in as much.
Right. I mean, Kevin has a 16% deal in rate, but if your average win is 6,500,
and the win being 25%, which is pretty good.
Yeah, that's how Kevin got that EV of 811.
But yeah, I think his he had at least one Yakuman. That's part of why the average value is so high.
Oh, that's true. There was a Yakuman in the final game, I think. Got a Daisongen in session
Oh,
6.
I think he might have two. I think he has 13 orphans as well this season.
Oh my god. Yeah, 2 Yakuman will do it, huh?
Yeah, I think the 13 orphans was like triple one chance. It was like that crazy. Like you wouldn't have thought he'd have it. He still got it.
Yeah, we've actually had several. Well, I say several. We've had a couple Yakuman in session 6. I mean, Kevin got one. I know Andrew got one. Have we had, I feel like we had 2 in the same day.
And one of my games in I think it was the beta season had two in the same table.
Yeah, that's just bonkers. Well, I think we will take a tiny little break here, give Nathaniel a chance to very calmly arrange things. We're going to be watching the last 2 Hanchan of one of our A1 tables who are also fighting to avoid demotion. So that should be a pretty exciting match, and there will be a lot of names you recognize from broadcasts at that table. So look forward to it. They should be starting in about 11 minutes. So I expect that we will be able to start broadcasting in about 15 to 16 minutes. So see you in just a little bit. Welcome back. We are getting ready for the A1 match. It has already started, but while we are waiting for Tenho to let us into the doors so that we can watch these beautiful players 5 minutes in the past, we are going to take a look at the situation in A1 right now. These games are at the bottom of the league, so these are people who are fighting their way out of demotion. And it should be noted that the other table that is also trying to avoid demotion is going to be playing on Friday. So we're going to get these games pretty close to each other. And right off the bat, what sticks out at you about these standings, Dustin?
Well, off the bat, I wasn't really thinking anything specific about these standings. I was looking more of because we saw these two games on stream before, me and you, and Oliver and Audrey are about. They haven't really moved from those two games. They're about plus minus zero, but Jeremy's moved up quite a bit, and Arthur's moved down.
Yeah. Korak took two lasts in those first two games, and Jeremy took two firsts. So it was a pretty massive reversal for both of them. Korak is still in a perfectly fine position overall, but two more lasts could put you in a scary place, especially if the games are not quite as close as the first two were. Jeremy, meanwhile, if Jeremy's able to keep the momentum up, can very easily get out of this kind of scary demotion range. I mean, even as it is, if both Jeremy and Korak, even if they only took like minus 10, I mean, if Jeremy took minus 10 over these two Hanchan and Korak took minus 20, they'd probably both still be fine.
Probably, but there's a chance. Although Eric and Nathaniel, they have to fight each other in their games, it's very much possible that they could both rise up.
Right? If they cannibalize, who are the other two players in those games? Wong and Simon?
I believe that is the case.
Yeah, if they cannibalized Huang and Simon, then they definitely could do that. Huang Simon is a very good player, who I'm not sure that I think maybe I played against last season in A2. Is Simon one of the people who promoted, or has
I
Simon
do not
always been in
remember.
A1? Yeah, I'm a little foggy. Huang though was league champion last season, so definitely someone who is hard to overcome. Oh, Simon has always been in A1. There's just so many names, I can't keep track of it all.
Yeah.
Nathaniel has the memory of an elephant, though, so a minesweeper playing elephant. I'm trying to pull Twitch back up so I can see the chat again. Okay. For Oliver, though, you really you have to pull Jeremy back. Either Jeremy or Korak has to fall into those bottom four spots, I think, for Oliver to crawl out. I don't see a way that Oliver gets out of demotion without pulling either Jeremy or Arthur down. Because if you didn't pull one of them down, that means you'd be counting on neither Eric nor Nathaniel to pass you, and that would be after getting like a plus 60 or plus 80, which is going to be very hard to manage on its own. So Oliver, we might see some pretty pushy play here, and it'll be interesting to see if that hand on the right will be able to do it for them. Korak, though, going to be our first dealer, and boy howdy, this is a hand.
Yeah,
No
looking pretty good.
Durahatsu. Got everything else, though.
Yeah, just one Dora in Jeremy's hand, but no one else has one yet.
Yeah, Korak taking 6 shapes here. Just being efficient. There we go. We'll probably cut the Kanchan. Yeah. So Korak now Ishanten. You'd really like if you're Korak to draw, say, the 1 peen, and then you could discard. Oh well,
Ooh, the backfire.
yeah, that would have filled in the Kanchan shape. I mean, even still though, Korak's still way ahead. We'll see if Oliver pushes the Honitsu on the right. Could get Itsu as well. That's a good draw for it. Not tossing the 5-6 peen, at least not yet. Andre on the left called the 1-2-3 so. Could be thinking Chanta, or Junchan, rather. Could be thinking 1-2-3 Sanshoku if you get something near the 1-mon. Has a couple of different options. Oliver now committing to the Honitsu.
So that helps that Junchan a lot.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you're now Ishanten.
Yeah, you could
Not the
pawn the
best.
9 so. Actually, you can't pawn the 9 so because there's no more left. So you have to draw around that 1-mon.
That is restricting
Or
a
the 9-mon.
Junchan even more is pretty unfortunate. But if you have to draw around the 1-mon, that does kind of force you into a Sanshoku, which ups the value of that to a 3-han hand. Across the table, we haven't talked about Jeremy's hand much, and that is
there's
a very
Sanshoku
nice
Tenpai.
hand. Ooh, waiting on the 3-mon. 2 of which are in Jeremy's hand across the table. And Oliver discarded the 5 peen and drew another. So the hand is refusing to be Honitsu.
Chi.
Korak making the play for Honitsu
Home.
himself.
So we have, okay, Peen Honitsu from Korak, So Honitsu from Oliver, Mon
Gee.
Honitsu from Jeremy, and then a freaking Junchan from Andre. Like,
Gee.
what even is this? That's Tenpai for Jeremy waiting on the
Gee.
Hatsu. Korak probably also angling to have a Hatsu wait.
Yeah, he's
We
never
could-
throwing that.
So both Korak and Jeremy waiting Hatsu, Oliver waiting Tuso, Andre waiting 3-mon. I think this is the first time in all of my ARML commentary that I have seen 3 different Honitsus at like 3 completely different Honitsus at the same table. This is absolutely absurd. And there's the Tuso! Does he throw it?
Ooh.
Who are you most scared of?
I've been in this situation
Sumo.
before. Oh, just sumo it.
They were right next to each other in the wall. So non-Honitsu for the 5200 sumo for Oliver.
Well, in retrospect, there was a 2-call Honitsu and a 1-call Honitsu. I should have just threw into the 1-call because 2-call more likely to be Tenpai.
Oh, that is typically how that works. But not always. I've been in Silver Room before.
Right.
You start playing defense against someone with 3 calls, and then they make the 4th call, and you just kind of like groan to yourself.
Right. It was a Hanema deal, and it does not feel great.
Oof. Well, Oliver here has 4
Home.
pairs. Is gonna take the Hatsu. Could make a Honitsu here. Could make a Toy. I mean, could just make a normal hand. Hatsu Nomi. There are still options. Oliver is not pigeonholed into anything. Andre has already called the tone. Has a pair of the Haku in hand as well. Does need to call to speed up the So and Manzu shapes. The Peen is the only nice shape in the hand. Korak improving on a shape here. Is Ishanten now. We'll get Pinfu on a 7-peen draw.
Home.
Alright, now we have Tenpai for Oliver waiting 9-mon west.
But it looks like Honitsu. So that 9-mon, there's only 1 left in the wall. But it does not fit in the hands of Jeremy or Korak. So switching? Yeah, going for the full Honitsu greed. But if you wanted to do that, why not keep the 2-so from earlier?
Well, the 5-so is just, you're so much more likely to draw something around the 2-so.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
when you pawn
With
the
a pawn of 3,
3-so.
so yeah. But if you pair it up, that would make it a great weight. Because it'd be Kabe or 1 chance.
That is very true. And there's the Tenpai waiting on 6-so. There's only 1 left in the wall. I do really like that Shaw 9-mon weight though. I like little tricks like that.
Yeah, not worth a lot, but as dealer, you can just stack up those repeats.
But they're fun. They're worth more than the points in the game. There's the Shaw. Probably, I
Yeah,
mean,
but I
wouldn't
don't.
stay out
Gee.
for long.
Yeah, I don't think you want to call for Hadaka Tonki if it came out.
It could be fun. Andre calling for Ishanten.
Yeah, it's not cut at all yet, so it is Shampai.
What does Shonpai mean?
I don't know, but I think it means it's a dangerous tile.
The West?
Yeah, specifically because it was not cut yet.
And it looking like such a it now looking so clearly like a Honitsu.
Right.
That 9-mon's not much of an improvement for Andre, given that 2 of the 9-mon have already been cut. But the 3-so wasn't really adding much acceptance to the hand either. Now,
Ishanten for Korak.
Shonpai is any tile that hasn't been cut yet. Thank you, Red Zone Nova, for educating the broadcasters. We need that a lot of the time. Korak held on to that 6-0 long enough for it to get integrated into the hand. Could incorporate it as a part of the weight. We now have Tenpai for Andre. Does he take 7-mon or Haku 9-mon? Ends
The
up
9-mon's dead. And ooh,
Ooh,
it comes right out. The extra Han.
Korak
Haku
doing
Toad.
an amazing job of not dealing in there. Just absolutely incredible.
Yeah, he was Ishanten. Could have wanted to greed, especially if he drew into the. It would have been at least Tanya, Ipeko, and he would just hit the Ricci, but just did not get that.
Dora here is the 3-mon, which Jeremy has one of. Has a couple of nice shapes otherwise, but still a couple of loose honors even 2 discards in, and that 6-8-9 shape doesn't leave a lot to be desired.
It's
5
not great,
pairs.
but
5 pairs on the left for Oliver.
Ooh, could get pin Hinitsu too, except the 9-pin isn't the worst discard.
It would certainly disguise the Honitsu some. This is where I start to feel kind of bad about Chitoi. Like when I have this 6-mon, 2-mon, 4-so discards and things are looking kind of wacky, like no honors discarded, you feel like that kind of reveals your Chitoi some.
Right.
I'd almost want to discard the Haku here, even though it's a very good Chitoi tile, just so that people don't know what I'm about.
And with that 3-pin, it looks like we'll be committing to the Chitoi rather than the Hinitsu.
Now 3 pairs for Jeremy. Discarding the 6-pin. It is 2 Shanten. Oh, that West draw for Korak is Ishanten now. Could still get 4, 5, 6 Sanshoku.
Oliver drawing an Anko and keeping it. Might go for that San Anko. They definitely need the points.
Oh, they could use it. I mean, a Suanko too would be great. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pairs on the right for Andre. We've already seen dueling Honitsus. Could we see dueling
Another
Chitois?
pair. That should
That's
be Tenpai. The Suji trap is set. Definitely waiting on the 9-mon. None on the wall or the board. Oh, one comes
there
out
it
right
is,
now.
though.
The Suji. Oh, Suji Ipatsu.
Ricci Ipatsu Chitoi.
And
we could get a Hanuman.
Nora, but that's enough for first place.
Oh yeah, and everybody else is below 30k, so a very valuable first place going into East 4 here. Andre would need 2 even bigger wins than Oliver would. So that would be a good start. Just need to start racking them up here as the dealer. Does take the tune. Gonna start trying to pile the Rinchan on.
Yeah, could have dreamed about Daisangan, but the Hatsu is already once cut. Playing more efficiently. Doesn't even want the Haku either. Oh, Ricci already across the way.
Shit.
9 pin. Great weight.
Yeah, that's dirty.
Just Nomi, but terminal tiles. If no one has any safe tiles, it's very likely to get thrown.
Yeah. And this is just a hand that isn't going to upgrade a lot of the time. I guess 4-so and 8-so you could both consider to kind of be upgrades in a sense.
Yeah, it would give you Pinfu. Plus
Well,
the
4-so
wider
would.
weight.
8-so would.
Right.
Chi.
The 3-so.
Well, it's near the Dora, but
You wouldn't be
you'd have to
Tenpai.
draw. Yeah.
Sumo.
Oh, just
It's the
Sumo.
Sumo.
No longer reaching Nomi. And Winora, because why not? Brings him above 30,000, just barely.
Yeah, gets Oliver above the 30K after that deal into Andre. So immediately gets his points back, or at least some of them.
Doors the South in the South round, but 3 of them are alone in the player's hands.
So
But you do have to draw the last one and pair it up.
unlikely to really come into things much. Korak with a pair of West. It's kind of unfortunate thing to have a pair of.
Well, it could end up being a game
Ooh.
of chicken.
Hatsu,
One of them
Hatsu.
pairs it up first, and then one of them just decides to eventually throw it away. Or it just gets thrown away from everyone before it gets paired up.
Yeah. It's one of those things like in Akanashi, in these tournament games where there aren't red 5s, it's kind of hard to get value. I tend to hold on to Dora for quite a while, but in say ladder, I often will just yeet a Dora Yakuhai like first round just to make sure no one gets it if I can. We do see on the right an incredible hand for Oliver. Has gotten to the Ishan 10 for the Junchan. This is our second Junchan that we've seen this game. Andre on the left also going for perhaps a Chanta. Is himself Ishan 10 for that.
And now the first Dora comes out, but will anyone follow suit?
Yeah, Korak's hand is pretty close here. Didn't really need the Dora. You're just going to call the Ricci. Oh, and there it is! Junchan Tenpai waiting on the 8-peen, which was just discarded by Andre.
Yeah,
but for these seasoned players, the 8-peen is not going to look safe at all.
It is the first turn, Suji, but so many middle tiles discarded.
When it goes 5-peen, 5-so,
it'd be
6-so,
suspicious.
4-mar. You could not have a more suspicious set of discards. The danger will be if someone else gets to Tenpai. Like if Korak draws, say, 1-so or 4-so here. The 2 and 3-so are a little bit safer to throw away, it looks like.
Right.
Is throwing away the West now. Those are confirmed to be safe. Could call this for Tanyao. Is considering it.
Yeah, there is a chance of the 1-4-so backfire. Throws a 5 instead of the West. I guess 2 is a safe tile. Could have like kept the 3-5 and have a guaranteed Tanya push if you really want to. Except a 4-so's there's only one left, so fair enough. And the 1-so not looking great either, but you don't want to fall too far.
We're 6 turns out from this Ricci, and none of those 8-peen have been drawn yet. And now we're going to have a Sumogiri Ricci from Jeremy also on the 8-peen.
Oh, and a Ricci from Korak.
A chase from Korak.
Ipatsu!
It's the Ipatsu! The 2-peen and 5-peen had already been 4 times cut, but the 5-peen...
And then Ura for the extra, the Mongon. Ricci pin returns to the Mongon.
On the deal-in tile, no less.
And wow, a great hand.
Oh, a catastrophic deal in for Jeremy. But as you
Boom.
said, Korak just going to look to take this and run with it. 2 Shanten already.
Yeah, possibly Itsu. Definitely at least Richie Tanyao. More likely just Richie Tanyao, or maybe not even Tanyao with that Anko, but
I mean, this is perfect Ishanten.
yeah.
Could even if Korak, well, 6P. You can't. Yeah, there's no way to improve value in one draw really.
Just get the Formon for confirmed Tanyao.
Yeah, that would be pretty nice.
Oh, throws is thinking about maybe pawning just to ensure the hand. Or
Boom.
Does he take it?
Sanako even.
Yeah, 5P, 7P Tempai. That 5P fits into
Boom.
Oliver's hand, and the 7P immediately comes out from Jeremy. Jeremy switching to the So Honitsu immediately deals into Korak. That's twice in a row now that Jeremy has dealt into Korak immediately after Korak entered Tempai. Although last time Jeremy had already called Ricci, so it wasn't exactly his fault.
Yeah, it's just the most unfortunate circumstances. They need pasta that actually matters for value.
Korak's hand not looking quite as good here. Does draw a Dora 3-mon as soon as I say that, though. Still needs
Yeah.
to improve shapes a little bit elsewhere.
There are at least 2 Ryman, so it's not terrible, but 3 pairs is not great to have. Oh, that. Probably throw 9 so 9 so 1 pin. Go for Tanyo potential again.
Starting with the 1-pin, Oliver has a pair of Haku, is holding on to Lone Hatsu and Chun for now. Four pairs in Andre's hand to the left is looking to be hedging for that Chi Toy a little bit, tossing away the 4-pin. Ooh, gets an Anko though. Tosses
Yeah.
the 2-mon.
Potential Chi Toy from Oliver has 4 pairs now.
Everybody always seeming to get pairs at the same time. Korak really thinking about this West is going to hold it as a safe tile, tossing away the pair of 9-so as you suggested.
Yeah. Keeping the Tanyo options while also having safety.
And this is something that Korak actually says a lot, that there's no point in having safe tiles before turn 6. But notice that Korak did keep the safe tiles once turn 6 hit. Especially since it fit into this kind of Tanyao shift that you wanted to do. Now has 2 Dora, so wants to increase efficiency a little bit. No Haku have come out for Oliver as of yet. We don't see them in anybody's hands.
Ooh. Backfire. Kept those 9 so you would have the Yonko. But
And
no,
just go for Nagashi.
except we don't have that in that rule set.
Boom.
We do in the IRMC qualifiers, and that actually happened to me.
Chi.
And by
Oh,
that
did
I
it
mean
really?
someone else did that to me on my dealership.
Ugh.
There's Ishanten for Korak. Ideally get another 4-mon. Just wait on 3-6 pin.
Looks like Andre probably going for the Toy here.
Chi.
It's a little far away though. You have to pawn twice and then still just barely be in Tenpai.
Boom.
Tenpai now for
Ooh.
Korak.
Korak throws the door, but it gets pawned by Jeremy. Open Mangon on the board, but it's not Tenpai yet.
Alright. Toy Ishanten on the left for Andre. Korak, Tenpai waiting on 3-pin, 6-pin. Jeremy, Ishanten.
Oh, that Anko of 6 pin is so unfortunate for Korak though.
That's gonna gum him up. And we see all of the 3-pin.
There's
All
just
pretty-
1 6 pin left in the wall for him.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pairs for Oliver on the right. So that is Chitoy Ishanten. Ooh, tossing the pair of 9-mon. Doesn't really want to mess around with the open Mongon on the right. We now have Tempai for Andre. If Andre's able to draw a 7-mon or 8-mon, that would be Toy Toy San Anko for a Mongon.
Korak draws a 5, so considers it dangerous. Breaks the Tenpai.
It's dangerous against Jeremy across the way.
Right,
Jeremy
that is
just
the open
Con.
Mongon on the board.
Sumo.
Con
Rinshan Sanako.
It's the Sumo! Doesn't flip any more Dora though, so the Rinshan doesn't actually add any value. Just the Mongon here. But holy cow.
I mean, it gave you the Sanako, so it did give value, but it didn't at the same time. But turning what would be like a 2600 Toy Toy into a Mongon is always great. And it
And
puts
we'll
him in
take
first.
first with that Mongon.
Yeah,
Oliver
Korak
now
not
with
that far away.
Korak right behind. Oliver very close to 30k and has an absolutely amazing dealer hand. Already Ishan 10. Has a Dora and can accept another.
Yeah, Dora, Tui, Peiko, Ricci.
Do you toss the 1-mon there if you're Oliver?
I think I would. It's kind of a tough choice. I guess you could throw the 5 and just set up the Suji trap. But ideally you draw like an Anko anyway, you have that Ryman weight.
I really feel like I almost feel like I'd want to toss the 3-mon and try to make Pinfu more likely.
Oh yeah, that is true.
Can always do the Suji trap later if you want. As it is though, still waiting around in Ishanten here. Jeremy has some catching up to do. Does not want to take a last here. You really want to stay ahead of Eric if you can. But just not getting any tiles this round. Does get an Anko of the 2-mon.
Yeah, this is a particularly bad fourth at the moment too. It would be about minus 35. That would bring him below Eric.
Korak ain't got anything over there. Still 3 Shanten.
Could at least try to call for Tanya, move things along, but
Korak's hand just sucks. Jeremy could start to go for Chinitsu here.
Oliver's hand looking pretty good though. Improved to a double Ryman Ishanten, and could even Dama for Ricci, Pinfu, Tanya possible. Oh, there's Dora 2, Ipeco, yeah, Dama, Pinfu, Dora 2, Tanya, Dama Mongon, definitely a good choice. So much of the weight is locked up in other people's hands though. All the 4s.
Yeah, this is interesting. You don't really expect anyone to deal in either way. So the only way you're getting the Hanamon is if you sumo, which the Ricci doesn't actually increase your value in that case if you sumo.
Well, right. It might. I guess it's like tough to say. Like you might just want to have like Ricci just to scare people off. But if you don't, someone might just carelessly throw it.
Andre K10.
Oh. Go ahead, Subagiri. Could have went for the Karagiri Ricci.
That I actually really like that. The Katagiri Ricci would make the area around the 6-mon look dangerous. But by doing the Sumo Giri Ricci, you're really making it look like you have maybe something around the 6-0 or 9-peen. God, that's so tricky.
Right.
That is
now the tiles are all dead in the wall.
right.
They're all in other people's hands.
It's completely beside the point. But I love that Katagiri. Now we'll see Jeremy. According to how Jeremy gets Tempai, could be, well, maybe not forced to throw the 4-mon, but could end up throwing the 4-mon, just depending on how things develop. Obviously can't draw one.
Right, that would be such an unfortunate thing to happen, but it looks like it won't happen.
Korak. Why would Korak call here?
That gave him the last draw. I'm
Uh,
not sure why.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
Maybe
Because
misread it.
it's possible I mean that can happen because it didn't get Korak Tempai.
Another great hand, already Shanten.
Oh my god. The dealers tonight have just been rolling. What do you take here? Okay, discarding Tumon.
Yeah, I guess if you draw that 4-pin, you get the 3-sided pair weight.
The East is Dora. There's one in Andre's hand and one in Korak's hand. Andre with a bit of an advantage as far as using it goes, having the pair of the Haku. Jeremy once again with a bunch of Manzu.
And that's
It is
Headless
actually
Tenpai.
yeah, and Ishan. Oh, Tempai for Jeremy.
リーチ
Could do the 3-sided pair weight here on a 7-mon Ricci and does. So 3/6/9 weight for Jeremy. That is Ricci Nomi. Oliver waiting just on the 3-pin as Dustin already said.
So that's
then-
a weight improvement.
There it is.
Is that Pinfu?
Yes, it is.
Right, yeah. It's a Pinfu with a lot of overlap, but it is Pinfu.
A Pinfu with a lot of very unfortunate overlap.
But it is improved value.
That is true. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 3, 4, and 7 so left in the wall. And 6, 3, 6, and 9 mon left in the wall. So Jeremy with a little bit of an advantage. Mahjong's never cared about that in the past, though, so we'll see how this turns out.
The 7-so is safe to 1 Ricci, but you might want to not play to the dealer Ricci, so.
Both Korak and Jeremy attempting to... No,
ロン
Korak and Andre
Ooh.
attempting to play safe, and Jeremy going to end up dealing in again. Another deal in while Ricci, and this time with the better weight. Actually, might have had the better weight last time, or no, did not have the better weight last time. Had pretty similar weights last time. So, very unfortunate deal-ins for Jeremy this round. Korak immediately taking the tune.
Yeah, and
Without
Oliver above the
hesitation.
30,000. But he's going to need a lot more than that to get out of demotion, but just rack up the dealer repeats and anything could happen. The double south Dora in Jeremy's hand will help a little bit, though. Oh, but it's Mochi Mochi now with Andre.
チー
Oh, going for the... What's it called?
Atazuke?
Atazuke, yeah. Yeah, especially without the south, it needs to like shift to Hanitsu or Toy Toy.
Korak just has so many Kanchans in hand. I could practically hear Korak saying yuck at that hand.
Yeah. It is Ishanten, though, at least.
All right, Oliver tossing away the pair of Shaw, the West pair. Andre, Tempai waiting on Nan and Tuso. The South's obviously stuck in Jeremy's hand. Jeremy needs that value. The Tuso unseen.
Yeah.
チー
You would think about the 8-mon
Ooh, but
shot,
gets the
except there's no
suit.
more 8-mon
Oh
length.
no, there's no Yaku.
Yeah.
チー
Just tosses it right back. And Jeremy likewise is waiting on East and South, and the East is not a Yaku.
With the Chi, you have to get the south. That's just temporary first, and at least it won't be, since the other East is the door indicator, there won't be any furry 10 for Jeremy.
Well, it doesn't
But,
matter.
Yeah,
Really?
that south is either coming out.
What could Andre have done? If Andre had kept the Tuso, do you maybe throw away from the 2-3-4 pin?
Yeah, he at least has the opportunity to shift to Hanitsu. Those Haku drops are unfortunate because that would have really, well, not really, because it was dead.
Tumon
Hmm.
now deals into Korak. That Tumon could very easily come out of Andre's hand, especially now that the 5-mon has been dropped.
Well, I would think he'd have to shift to Honitsu. So I think he'd keep on the mod, but still keeping that pin shape. Still
Oliver
pushing
leaving
2-mon
Tenpai,
left.
was waiting on the 8-mon, is now not waiting on the 8-mon. Back to Ishanten. Jeremy just hanging around.
Pretty wide Ishanten for the dealer, actually. It's a 3-sided and a Rhyman.
Yeah,
Although
that
there's some
peen,
furry 10.
now with the 9-peen especially, could actually chi that
Chi.
for Tenpai.
Yeah.
It does.
Boom.
Yonkulis waiting on 2 so 5 so, but the Tumon's going to deal into Korak, and that's actually Chanta. So Chun Chanta for Korak. Jeremy has now dealt into Korak, I think, 4 or 3 times.
Yeah, 3 or 4.
Boom.
At least 3.
Jeremy, though, dealt a very good hand here. Is already Ishanten for Chanta on draw. And the 1-peen is Dora, so could very easily incorporate that. This is the kind of hand Jeremy needed. Oliver, though, is going to be racing him, has already called the Norths, and is Ishanten, having 2 complete sequences in the Manzu right off the bat as well.
Right. Ooh, draws a Dora.
Probably, oh, man, probably
Pulls
holds
a
it.
pin
Yeah.
now. Oh, there's Tenpai for Jeremy. We'll
Yeah,
get the
waiting.
Chanta, but 2-sided weight at least.
Yeah, I mean, there's no real good way to wait this one out. I
Chi.
mean, you can't call the tune and then switch to Chanta.
I guess the only thing is you could hope to draw a 1-mon for the extra, possibly 2-on. Not guaranteed, but just
I
try to
was
shut things down and get a repeat.
I was reading a what would you do earlier, and in this scenario where there's only one tile that improves your value and you have a 2-sided weight, you're more likely to Apatsumo than you are to draw the improvement. As a fun fact.
It seems
I
like it
didn't
might
check
check
them,
out.
but it was in a what would you do book. But the Dora 1-peen pretty firmly locked up in people's hands. Oliver, of course, is tonkying it.
Right. There were 4 tiles left in the wall when it started. At least no one else drew them, but where are they?
Sumo.
Ooh, there's the
Sumo.
4-peen sumo.
Not on the Takame, but Riichi Sumo. You'll take what you can get, especially against healer.
Take what you can get. Start the flow. Not a spectacular hand, but you've gotten Anko, and you do have the 4-5-peen and the 5 so. So Jeremy not dead here, but you're gonna have to race
Another
against
Anko.
there. Ooh, that's
Possibly Senanko.
Boom.
Possibly
could get
Suanko.
expensive. Oliver calling the Hatsu to speed up though, and Andre's hand just so efficient. I mean, that's a beautiful hand. 3-mon. I like it. I like the 3-mon discard.
I guess, well, if you kept the 3-mon, I guess you could have have possibly Pego, but
With a 1-mon and a 2-mon already discarded, I don't really appreciate those chances.
if you kept that, that would be the solidified pair, though. It's a little unfortunate.
Oliver's still 2-shanten over there.
I think
Getting
that would have
slightly
been
north
Tenpai,
of-
actually.
So what?
If he kept the 3-mon pair up, that would have been Tenpai on 6-9 pin.
That is true.
Boom.
But it's like, well, you couldn't have known.
Right. The 3-mon was less likely to be drawn than something around the 3-peen. And that 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, 7 is such a great Sozu shape. That shape probably has a name.
Oh, Suanko Ishanten for Jeremy.
Solanko Ishanten could call for Toy Toy here. Would you call for the Toy Toy?
I would hate it, but
Ooh!
G.
just get
Solanko
it.
Tenpai! 3-so 4-pin!
Only the 4-pin is left in the wall, but both of them are in the wall.
Oh my goodness. This would be absolutely huge for Jeremy.
I have to say, whenever Jerry's matches, I feel like I give him good luck, but that's usually when I'm at the table. But I got a feeling.
There are still no 4-pins revealed. Oliver is not Tenpai. It does not look like Andre is going to fight this. Andre folding out, it seems.
Yeah, Korax has so many terminals. He's definitely not fighting.
Korak's hand was once again just bad from the start. 4-pin still yet to be found, and we are over halfway through the wall.
Anything could happen.
Oh, I want to see it. I want to see it so bad.
It can't. Hopefully, it's on the dead wall, but it would be very unfortunate.
Pom.
Oh, the pawn.
Oh, there's
Tenpai.
Tenpai! 5-mon 7-pin for Oliver.
That is one of each left in the wall.
So equal. There's only 8 tiles left.
Surely, it doesn't have to happen, but it would be exactly what Jeremy needs right now. Turn everything around. On
Not
a 5-pin. Oh,
there's
one 4-pin.
It's not going to come out. They're playing
yeah.
spin.
But one more draw.
Last chance for Jeremy. Oh, doesn't get it.
Doesn't get it. But
and everybody's seeing this hand now and just going, holy cow. Oh. Heartbreaking for Jeremy, but this is a pretty okay hand to try and keep the repeats going.
yeah, couldn't even get the Mongon at least from a Ron, but that would have helped a lot as well.
It would have been interesting to see what Oliver did on drawing the 4-pin, but we didn't get to see that. And actually, I think that also means that 2 of Oliver's tiles were in the dead wall, as well as the final 4-pin. But, anywho, Jeremy's hand has not improved very much, just slightly better shapes. Oliver with an Anko of 8-so on the left has pretty nice Kinzu shapes. Korak, finally with a decent hand across the table, is Ishanten. Could even get 4-5-6 Sanshoku.
White Dragon is Fedora, just one in the dealer's hand. If you're Oliver, you might be thinking about the Doko. Got a lot of those 8 tiles.
Are we gonna be back on this Flowbook 1 idea? 8-pin comes out, just call it. I guess you could also go for Tanyao though, even if the Doko doesn't come through.
Right.
Ooh, 2-mon, a nice draw for Jeremy.
Yeah, not Ishanten yet, but it's possibly Peiko there.
Korak doesn't want the 7-so. Leaves it be. 2 1-mon gone now.
Another Mon tile. Do you go greedy for Hinitsu here? It feels
Yeah.
a little late, but...
But I mean, you do... I do feel like having the 6 shapes is not bad here. Like, you don't see any Haku anywhere. It's really hurting your efficiency. You know, if someone wins a Mongon like with the Dora Haku pawned, that doesn't really put you in that much worse of a position. Not
Yeet.
winning the dealer turn is much more valuable at this point. And now we have the Richi from Korak, Richi, Pinfu, possible Sanshoku on the 4-so. The
Sumo.
7-so. Oh my
it's a
god!
Sanchoku! Sanchoku Hatsu!
Shoku! That's a Hanuman
And an
minimum.
Ura, because why not? But it doesn't change anything.
Oh,
that
that.
breaks Jeremy just barely to the negatives. That's heartbreaking. But
Yeah,
still one more game to turn things around after this.
Yeah, that is absolutely tragic. So let's see what Andre can do here.
And
Andre
Oliver
gonna try and
exactly
make
on
a play
30K.
That's an incredibly precarious situation.
Yeah, he does have the tune pair to call and just end the hand and like avoid -5 Uma hit from dropping below 30,000. But still, I guess that with that score, you'd want to steal second at least.
Yeah, Oliver cannot settle for third here. Like a second is a bare minimum, I think, if you're Oliver. So Mongon Sumo is not enough. You would be 100 points shy. Or no, you wouldn't be, because that's dealer. So yeah, so Mongon Sumo is kind of your minimum threshold here. We do have a pawn from Andre.
I guess 1-2-3 Sanchoku isn't that far away. That would be part of the way to getting the value. 1-2-3 Sanchoku and the Dora.
You'd have to keep it closed. 7-8-9 Sanshoku for Korak. Needs the 9-so.
You could go open 1-2-3 Sanchoku, Dora, Chun. That does add up to a Mongon, but
you would have to sumo it.
Or direct, yeah.
Or direct.
Oh,
Ricci from Jeremy. 5-so, 8-so. Ricci Pinfu.
But it's just take what you can get.
Yeah, bring Oliver underneath 30k, and it's effectively an extra 5,000 points.
Boom.
Tenpai now for Korak, 4-mon, 7-mon.
Yeah, Yaku is Tenpai for Andre who throws a 1-mon and does.
I mean, Andre can't afford to not be Tenpai.
But can he throw the Dora? Throws a 4. I guess if you're gonna throw the 4, well, I guess there could be like a Dora double pair weight. At least confirms the Suji is safe, but
Oliver,
you really want to throw that.
Oliver may or may not be full folding here. At the very least, is playing some safe tiles. Is Korak willing to throw the 3-peen?
Yeah, it won't deal in though because of Yaku's Tenpai though.
Yeah, it does kind of look like Oliver's just folding. Oh, there's Toy Tenpai if you're willing to throw the Dora. It does!
Oh, but Sumo.
Sumos!
Just Sanchoku Nomi, but secures first place.
I mean, and with that one Sumo, effectively murders both Oliver and Andre. Like, Andre needed to really go on like a 100,000 point run in that South.
You need 200,000 point ones, really.
Yeah, and so you start with the 100,000 point one. We were joking about a 3-day game before we went on air, and but you can do it
theoretically. Yes, but
play until everyone.
Very unlikely. But that actually puts Korak into the positives.
Yeah, that was
pretty solid position.
So Korak now saved with that first. Took 2 lasts in the first 2 Hanchan. This first, basic, like, Korak is, for all intents and purposes, safe. It would take an absolutely brutal murder for Korak to fall into demotion at this point. Jeremy, though, who had mostly escaped demotion territory, was just on the edge of getting to full safety, takes an absolutely massive last. Multiple Ricci deal ends, and then just playing from behind doesn't have much else of a choice. Has a very good Suwanko attempt, but just isn't able to pull it through.
Right, so I believe that was dealer as well, so I would have put him in first.
It would have been a 48,000 point in first, would have dropped everyone else below 30k, would have been huge, but didn't get it. Is not in demotion yet, but really don't want to leave things to fate. Like, you need to get past Eric, I think. Maybe not need. Maybe not capital N need. But it really
every bit helps. Like you don't wanna stay where you are.
No, certainly not. The closer you can get to Eric, the better. But only being 20 points ahead of Nathaniel, it's very easy to imagine Nathaniel getting a mere plus 20 and Eric maybe just taking, say, a minus 16. Those would both be pretty normal Mahjong scores after 4 Hanchan, especially among fairly equal players, which everyone in A1, of course, is highly skilled. And a plus 20 from Nathaniel and a minus 16 for Eric would put you into demotion.
And Oliver has something to play for with this outcome. If you can directly
Yes.
hit Jeremy, you just swap places, you at least have a chance, a decent chance, not unreasonable, of like just staying in A1.
Yes. If you can swap places with Jeremy, well, then you can dream of Simon and Huang going on a crazy streak and pushing Eric below and you getting out. If you could put together a first that gets you past Nathaniel and pulls Jeremy underneath you. So Oliver really needed to not come in third there, but with Jeremy coming in such a deep last, I think that's a good point. That is the only way that third is helpful for Oliver.
Yeah, every point counts, makes the possibility of getting out of demotion more realistic. Just get the plus 90 game here, you're pretty secure. That's possible. Not too likely, but it's certainly possible. There have been quite a few of those in the league this season.
They've happened. Getting ready for the final Hanchan here. When did Huang's deal in become 22.1?
I don't know. I really
Huang's,
kept track of those stats.
yeah, me neither. That's the first time I've noticed it. Oh, right. Because he was so far behind, he was forced to play super aggressive, as Nathaniel points out. So the only way to escape would be to do that. It looks like our first dealer here is going to be Andre, and then Jeremy, and then Oliver, and then Korak will be our final dealer. We should be starting any second now, and there it is. Jeremy, first dealer. West is Dora. Jeremy has one of those in hand. Korak, who is West, has 2, and also 4 pairs.
Oh, Korak's actually north.
No, Korak is north.
But
We're not behind dealer.
he could definitely greed for that Honitsu. But it doesn't need to be greedy, just needs to not deal in.
Good. But shoot, with the
Cheat.
2 pin here, Korak is thinking about calling that cheat. Yep, he did it.
Yeah.
That just felt right for Korak. Baka Hon Honitsu that's still a Mangan feels very Korak.
Well, because of the door, it's not Bakon though.
I mean, but it still feels like it because you don't have a Yakuhai. You're right. I mean, it's not
It
Bakahon.
feels like it, but it's
But it's not.
a lot
No,
better than that.
No, you're right. It's a lot
Ooh.
better than that. It's better than a 1 Yakuhai Honitsu. Where, let's see, God, so many honors in Oliver's hand. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Unfortunate backfire for Andre just throwing one of their extra Ryman, but would have drewn into it immediately.
Ishanten for Korak can pawn 6-pin, 9-pin Shah to get there. 4 pairs for Jeremy on the right.
Pong.
Is going to go for the Toy Toy.
Oh,
Wait. Oh, maybe not Toy Toy. Maybe
guess-
Honitsu.
I think that has to be Honitsu for Jeremy.
Yeah, discarded the 5-pin away from that pair. Korak getting the 9-pin. Now Tempai waiting 6-pin shot.
Yeah, getting the 6-pin would have been better, but you'll definitely take that Mangan Tenpai.
Especially since you don't have overflow yet. Yep, the 7-pin still willing to come out of Andre's hand.
When that, 3-sided weight upgrade. It throws it again.
Ooh.
Oh, that's brutal.
After the 6-pin, I'm legitimately surprised. That 6-pin cut from 2 calls from Korak, I mean, from any A1 player, I would really expect that to be Tempai. And I'd be super scared of Dora. Andre, though, was dealer and, is way back. Andre needed to push the dealership, so perhaps understandable there.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, not much of a shot of getting out. May just not be like thinking too hard about these games, just playing them out.
Jeremy, the 9 so is Dora. Jeremy has none. Jeremy does have 4 pairs though. So could get Cheetoy. 7 Mon pulled into Korak's hand, keeping that nice 6-7-7-8 shape, the Nakabukure shape. You could think of it as 2 Ryonma next to each other, the 6-7 and the 7-8, favoring that over the 1-2 Pinchon.
Yeah, there is a possibility of the 678 or 79 Sanchoku for Korak. It's a little far away, but it's
Each.
possible. But there's
There's
Richie.
Six,
6-9
so-
on.
Yep. There are a lot of those left on the wall. 5.
Yeah,
Richie Nomi.
not Pinfu, unfortunately, but just move things along. The
How much
Dora
do
is
you have
being
to
safe.
If you're Jeremy, how much do you have to push here?
Each.
Oh.
Chase from Oliver.
Don't.
Ooh, the
And immediately
Ipatsu.
gets it. The Ipatsu deal in from Korak. No
At
Ura
least
though.
just Richie Patsu. So not too bad of a deal in. Doesn't feel great, but
Oliver really would have preferred the Ipatsumo to pull Jeremy down, as we were mentioning earlier. We see a lot of honors paired up. We have a pair of Souths in Oliver's hand, a pair of Hatsu in Korak's hand, and a pair of Haku in Andre's hand. Jeremy holding 1 Haku and 1 Hatsu, so it might just be feeding people poning before long.
yeah, the hand doesn't really look too great.
I mean, Oliver is 2 Shanten.
Home. Home.
There's the
There
Hatsu.
goes the pawns.
Called it. Skipped Oliver twice, which is pretty good, allowing everybody to catch up to Oliver here. Not good for Oliver, of course. But Oliver started with a hand that was pretty close to Tenpai, and that certainly will help everyone except Jeremy catch up. Or I guess Jeremy gets the extra draws anyway.
Chi.
Right. I guess the Jeremy, his path to value is 789 or 678 Sanchoku. Not too far away, but kind of.
Chi.
Oh, Korak gets his hardest shape. That 1-2-3, that 1-2 Pinchon was really gumming up the hand, but gets the chi. Now only has good shapes in hand. He's really thinking about this tune. Might throw the 1 so instead.
And does.
Home.
It's pawn for Tenpai on 7 so. Could come out of Oliver's hand. Doesn't quite fit in there.
Really, according to how Oliver got to Tenpai. Oh, there's
There
a
is
way to
upgrade. See, there's only 3 of those left in the wall, but
Okay, the 7
Could
so
come
kind of not locked in as a pair. With the 3 so draw, the 7 so could pretty easily come out.
if he draws 7 pin, could throw the Souths and shift to Tanya, though.
This is true. Korak still Ishan.
Or even just maybe take 7 so South Tenpai upon drawing into the pin shape. Ooh, the
Ooh,
7
there it
comes
is.
out.
Home.
Yeah, that San Minchan shape was too good to refuse. Deals the 2000 into Andre. Still in second, though.
Yeah, but losing your dealer turn like that, just especially when you need it. At least if this is another one, but it doesn't feel great.
Oh, definitely not. The Dora here is the Hatsu, which we see one of in Korak's hand. Be interesting to see how long it hangs around. Korak probably thinking about Itsu here in the So. Possible 5, 6, 7 Sanshoku. Or 6, 7, 8. Or 7, 8, 9. Who knows? Those are the things I feel like Korak would say about this hand. Korak would probably also call this hand just, your standard kind of Pinfu looking hand. And I would be sitting on the other side of the commentary booth really wondering how it was going to get there. And that would be how. That 5 pin's a great draw.
Home.
Right. On the left, though, Oliver could have
Oh my God.
Pretty good hand.
I mean, it started with Ipeko confirmed and then drew the third 7-so into it. It's like a Kutsuki Tushanten. It's very, very kind of odd hand over there.
ポン
Yeah.
Another pawn. Jeremy may be doing Toy Toy or Honitsu here, making a decision. Not fully going to commit one way or the other yet.
Possibly even both, but just
Ooh, there's the
hedging.
Ipeko draw for Andre. This could be Ipeko Junchan. We dare dream.
リーチ
And now the Ricci from Oliver.
Oh, that is a weird looking weight.
It's just 6'9". 5, 6, 7, 6, 7, 8, and then an extra 7 and an extra 8. I don't think.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, that's it.
I think it's still Ipeko on the 6-so.
Yes, it's still Ipeko on the 6-so. 9-so would just be Pinfu.
チ
But it's Pinfu either way. So Ricci, Pinfu, possible Ipeko, possible Tanyao. The 6-so, a pretty huge Takame. Jeremy now,
Gee.
Tenpai waiting 4-pin 4-mon.
Just Haku no Mi.
Upgrades to the 2-pin 5-pin weight.
And the 5-pin is safe to the Ricci.
We do have a confirmed. No, that's not confirmed.
Although-
5, 6, 7 is. Wait.
You might think Andre has the pin Honitsu, so pin might not get thrown out.
Oh, that's a Chinitsu shift. Okay, that makes sense. Andre needs points. I was a little confused for a second about the 5, 6, 7 chi. Ooh, that 4-pin came out. Kind of unfortunate for Jeremy, but the switch made sense.
Yeah, and Korok just drawing the 1 pin and doesn't want to deal into Chinitsu.
Yeah, definitely don't want to help Andre build his hand. There's the Dora. Yeah, not willing to toss it. Just going to hold on to it. 4-pin confirmed safe against the Ricci. And now it's just the drawing game. There's still 4 6-so and 9-so left in the wall.
Oh.
There's only
Sora
6.
come out. Not yet, but do you pawn and wait at the door? I mean, you kind of have to. Oh, just throw. Doesn't want to throw those pin tiles. Understandable.
Yeah. I mean, dealing into Andre would be... Dealing into a Chinitsu would be worse than
Right.
winning the Haku Nomi
Boom.
would be good.
But if you're watching those discards, like so many Tadashis.
So many Tadashi Manzu. There's the 9-so.
So
Doesn't toss
throw
it.
yet.
The discipline. Andre has
Sumo.
tossed so
but
much.
Sumo on the
6-so.
Takame. Ricci, Sumo, Pinfu, Keiko, Tanya.
Only needs 1 Ura for Hanuman. Doesn't get it, though. That is first place for Oliver. Oliver
That's like-
on the way.
If he threw the 9-so, do you just skip it? Because it would be such a downgrade.
You're right. It would just be Ricci Pinfu, no Ura. So you'd lose, I mean, about the same. What would it be? 2,600? Is that right? Versus 2,000?
If there were a Hamba, I guess so.
230 fu?
Yeah,
I
2 on 30 would just be 2,000.
That'd be just 2,000. So it's the exact same, actually. Dealing in would be the exact same as the Sumo, although you obviously don't know that. It was a nice, disciplined defensive play from Andre, even though it would have worked out the same with the 9-so deal in. But anyway, Andre has the Hatsu. Oh, but Jeremy going to get to Tenpai first, calling Ricci waiting on
Gee.
369 Mon. 9 Mon is the Takame here, the most expensive tile, because that would be Ricci Pinfu Itsu.
And just 2 of those 9-mon left in the wall.
And not much, only, so 2.
Ooh,
Nope, but
gets the
there it is!
Takame.
Comes out of Korak's hand!
Wow. And
And
Aura
gets
2!
Ura! Oh, that's absolutely massive for Jeremy. That's going to put Jeremy in first place by just a smidge.
Yeah,
But
that's exactly what he needs.
I really, I wish I could see what Korak's hand looked like. Why did Korak deal the 9-mon? Korak's been playing some really good defense in these two Hanshan. I'm just curious what the situation was.
Yeah, I'm unsure. Maybe he didn't have any Genbutsu, and normally terminals are relatively safe if you have no idea what to throw. I'm guessing it might be something like that, but
Boom.
I just happened so fast.
Oh boy. Jeremy with 4 pairs. The 5-so is the Dora. One of those in Andre's hand. Oh, 2 of those now. In Andre's hand to the left. Andre trying to think of what to do. I really would have considered throwing Hatsu or Chun there. Feels like maybe Itsu or Tanyao is a better bet than the Honitsu, but I'm a well-known Honitsu hater. So
I do like
shrug.
Honitsu, but for that 3-4-5 pin, it is kind of early, but he does,
I mean,
like, the amount of value he would need is just, I don't know,
mean,
maybe just like play the hand, just get your game over with.
yeah. Not having any dealerships left, I feel like I'm not going from here on out. If I were
Oh
Andre,
yeah,
I would not be inclined to play like all that different from just like a normal tournament game.
yeah. Like even if you got like double Yakuman for the rest of the game, that's still like not enough to like really bring you out of devotion. So
1
Korak doing something that is a pretty important here. Korak had the 2-3-mon in hand, drew a 5-mon, and switched the weight to just the 4-mon because was Atazuke before. So Korak could not win on the 1-mon because needed Tanyao. But by
right.
discarding the 2-mon, there's now no longer an Atazuke. No chance of being Furiton here. Can just win on the 4-mon. And Andre, of course, waiting on the 2-so. And that
Yeah.
is Itsu again.
Throughout the
Richie
Dora,
Itsu.
yeah, Richie Itsudora.
Ooh, Jeremy Ishanten tosses the safe Dora. It would have been really tempting to toss that 1-peen.
Yeah, I guess
4
2G.
that deals into Korak. That gives Jeremy a little bit of breathing room for first place. Doesn't have the dealership anymore to rack points up, but I guess you don't necessarily need that. It would be helpful to have more of a cushion. If he gets first right now, that's going to be plus 25. Not the greatest, but it's a lot better than going negative, that's for sure.
ポン
Calling the South, trying to end the hand and the dealership of his competitor. Yeah, Oliver really needs to make the most of this dealership. Ooh, nice door draw for Oliver. The winning any hand would be great, but getting an extra Han on there is a lot helpful.
Korak, I presume, is going to open at first possibility. 8-so? Or maybe toss a pair. 8-peen? Okay, 6-so. Going, well, I would be inclined to toss the 8-so first because the 6-so is Genbutsu to dealer. Now Tenpai, though, waiting 4-peen 7-mon.
Yeah, I would just throw the ASO because the 5-5-5-6 is such a
No.
wide shape. With Jeremy moves it along with just non.
South Nomi. Alright, and we enter all last. Oliver and Andre basically don't have anything personal to fight for here, other than, I suppose, pride. Mahjong spirit. Prevent
Right.
Jeremy from getting a Kushi win. Jeremy, a lot of incentive to put something fast together here. Korak just likes winning, so we'll probably just take whatever. But it makes sense. All Mahjong players do.
Right.
It's got the South. Could
C.
even get Chanta here. It's keeping
It's
the door
such
3 king in front.
still like that's two Shanten. Yeah.
God, look at Andre's hand on the right. And a very, very good Ishanten. Effectively a perfect Ishanten. Well, not just effectively. It is. No, it's not perfect Ishanten. Not quite. 8 would not leave you. 8 would leave you on Tonsu. Would you consider, like, the perfect Ishanten is if you every draw or call that gets you to Tenpai leaves you with a Ryanman weight? Would you consider on Tonsu a good enough weight for that to be a perfect Ishanten?
Depends on how much is left, but Andre does get the upgrade to a possible Ipeco, so we won't have to worry about that. Korak throws Dora. I guess well, it doesn't really need. He just needs to like not deal into something catastrophic. I
We
guess
do
he,
now have Tenpai. Just taking Dama.
4 is if Korak reads for the Chanta, we end up dealing in on the Takame.
If Korak were to draw the final tune, that would be basically a certain deal in, I feel.
1.
But maybe he throws the 1-mon because it would be safer.
Eh. Sumogiri Richi. Korak in kind of a weird spot now. You don't really want to come in last, but it also kind of doesn't matter.
Yeah. If you don't deal in, it's going to be around minus 25. That should be
Which,
more than enough to be
oh,
safe.
yeah. I mean, it's basically a mathematical certainty. Jeremy chasing, though.
Chasing with his own possibly Peku.
Interesting. Yeah, if I'm Jeremy, well, I'm also a coward, but I would.
You have to reach all of your important hands, even Yakuban.
But this, but you're in first, and the one thing you don't want to do is lose first.
Sumo.
Oh, the sumo, but it doesn't lose the first though.
It doesn't lose the first. You're right, but yeah,
that would have been a terrible hand to deal in. That would have taken away the first.
Right, that's what I'm saying. You
Right.
can just fold out and hope that Oliver doesn't win. But we get the Mongon Sumo, gets the Takame 4-mon for Andre there to end on a good note. Is going to put Andre into a very small negative third and end this session on a good note. And Jeremy with a plus 23, not quite what Jeremy needed. Like, Jeremy did need a little bit more points. You could debate whether Jeremy needed the points enough. Like, that's the issue, right? Jeremy really wanted to get past Eric. That's what we were talking about beforehand. This is going to leave Jeremy at about 77.8. Not about, at exactly 77.8. Which is very, very close to Eric, but that is a much bigger hurdle for Nathaniel to have to climb over. Whereas if you had come in second, if you get, say, Oliver's plus 11.6 instead, then you're in a much different situation at 89, where Nathaniel only needs 30 points.
Yeah, there's only 2 games to make up those points, but there is a possibility that Nathaniel and Eric stay above Jeremy. I mean, Eric doesn't even need to gain points technically. He just needs to not lose them.
Right. Well, at this point, I feel like we can say, so Oliver and Andre, being where they are, yes, I'm fairly certain that it is mathematically impossible for, Korak is in. Korak is out of demotion. The only way for Korak to fall out would be if Eric, Nathaniel, and Huang all passed him, but there's no way that they could do that without Simon falling below Korak. So Korak is 100% mathematically certainly safe from demoting. So Korak's good. Jeremy is going to be watching the other demotion matches on Friday with bated breath, I am sure. And then Eric will be in a very precarious situation there. Simon, will just need to avoid tragedy, and Huang will be playing for whatever on earth he can get. But that was a very exciting couple of Hanchan to watch, I would say.
Yeah, it was great mahjong. Lots of things on the line. There weren't any. I guess this is about the expected result. No massive swings for people to get out of demotion. 'Cause Jeremy, I think it was overall positive. I think he was above, like at this once above the demotion slots before, but I think
That
it's better
is,
than he was starting with.
Jeremy had 3 firsts and a fourth, but that 1 fourth basically canceled out the first 2 firsts. So it does still end up being like a plus 20 something session for Jeremy, which, you certainly accept.
Yeah, does make Nathaniel have to do more work to pass, but not impossible.
Any other thoughts before we go to our homes and start dreaming of the Yakuman we will win in the future?
I think I think we covered everything.
Okay, well, that being the case, be sure. Well, today is September 19th. I don't know what time today the signups for Fall League for the fall season
I don't know
end.
what time
But if
today
if you saw this
signups for
broadcast,
Fall
had a lot of
League
fun, and really
the-
want to sign up for the fall season, if you asked Edwin really nicely, even if the time has passed, it's still September 19th. He still might let you in. So there's a shot at it. So if you want to do that, you will want to visit our homepage. That would be americanreachy.org. You will see a link for that in the chat here in a second. If you want to know when we are going to be broadcasting, be sure to follow us on Twitter at AmericanReachy. Also, another good way to do that would be to follow us here on Twitch. There's a little heart somewhere on your screen. I don't know what kind of screen you're watching, but there's some way to show that you appreciate us on it. And of course, we have hundreds of hours of Mahjong commentary saved. Some of it very good, some of it with audio issues, some of it with me shouting so much that I fall out of my chair. It's a fun time. I recommend watching it both to learn more about the language of Mahjong strategy, and also just, it's fun to watch Mahjong sometimes. If you want to do that, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel at tinyurl.com/ARMLYT. I am ennui. I was joined tonight by Dustin. Thank you very much for joining me. And Nathaniel has been holding it out, listening to us talk about him behind his back as the broadcast director all night. You can watch him. Well, maybe you will get the chance to watch him play on Friday. We don't know if that match is going to be streamed yet. But at the very least, you can keep your eyes out for the results. And on behalf of the American Ricci Mahjong League, I hope all of you have an absolutely spectacular night. Good night, everyone.